Pablo Escobar. The name itself sends shivers down the spine, doesn't it? A poor man who rose to power with his violence and corruption, amassing wealth and living an extravagant lifestyle, from lavish mansions to fleets of luxury vehicles, gold-plated firearms to private zoos. He spared no expense in displaying his wealth, but the fortune he made was built on the blood and sweat of countless individuals who suffered at the hands of his insatiable hunger for power. By exploring Escobar's displays of wealth, we can understand the complex relationship between greed, power, and the devastating human cost of one man's unquenchable thirst for more. Escobar was the infamous drug lord of the Medellin cartel, who rose to power through illegal activities and ruthless tactics. But did you know that this notorious figure had humble beginnings? Born on December 1st, 1949, in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar grew up in the slums of Medellin and experienced poverty firsthand. This upbringing would later shape his perception of wealth and power. Escobar began his journey into the criminal underworld by committing minor crimes. However, he soon found his calling in drug trafficking, specifically cocaine. He formed alliances with big dealers of his time, notably Carlos Leder and Jose Gonzalo Rodriguez Gacha, and in the 1970s, established the Medellin cartel. The cartel dominated the cocaine trade by using ruthless tactics like bribery and violence. Despite his reputation for using notorious methods, Escobar gained a Robin Hood-like image among Colombia's poor through his philanthropic efforts. He built homes, schools, and hospitals, which gave the impression of a respectable citizen. However, behind this generosity lay a man driven by ambition and willing to commit heinous acts to protect his empire. Under his leadership, the Medellin cartel became one of history's most powerful criminal organizations, generating billions in revenue annually. During the 1980s, Pablo Escobar reached the peak of his power and became the wealthiest criminal in the world, amassing a fortune estimated to be in the billions of dollars annually. What were some of the key factors contributing to Pablo Escobar's rise to becoming the wealthiest criminal in the world during the 1980s? Escobar's extravagant lifestyle during this period was legendary, reflecting his unparalleled wealth and influence in the criminal underworld. One of the most infamous tales illustrating Escobar's excess involves him burning stacks of cash to keep his granddaughter warm while they are on the run from authorities. Not only this, Escobar's fascination with exotic animals led him to construct his private zoo, which housed a menagerie of creatures ranging from elephants and giraffes to rare big cats. The zoo, located on his sprawling estate in Hacienda Nápoles, was a testament to his extravagance and provided him with a sense of prestige and amusement. Building a zoo would seem extravagant, only if you've not seen his collection of mansions. Escobar's wealth was prominently displayed through his ownership of lavish mansions and estates scattered throughout Colombia. These opulent properties boasted luxurious amenities, including swimming pools, helipads, and ornate gardens, showcasing his penchant for grandeur and luxury. His passion for luxury extended to his impressive collection of cars and private planes. He also had a collection of luxury vehicles and private planes that was unparalleled. Escobar owned fleets of high-end cars, ranging from Ferraris and Lamborghinis to Rolls-Royces and Mercedes-Benzes, each customized to his exact specifications. Additionally, he maintained a fleet of private planes, enabling him to travel in style and secrecy. Escobar's reign of terror had devastating effects on Colombian society, leaving behind a legacy of corruption, violence, and instability. Escobar's immense riches corrupted all levels of Colombian life and eroded trust in the government and justice system. He employed ruthless tactics such as bombings, killings, and kidnappings to eliminate rivals and maintain control over his drug empire. His reign of terror destabilized Colombia socially and politically, hindering progress and perpetuating negative stereotypes internationally. Despite his death, the scars of his legacy are still felt today, and survivors, victims' families, and former officials continue to share stories of suffering, highlighting the destructive force of organized crime. Escobar's reign of terror was characterized by ruthless attacks on government officials, bombings of public buildings, and assassinations of political leaders that pushed the country to the brink of chaos. The Colombian government, led by President Cesar Gaviria, launched a massive manhunt to capture Escobar and dismantle his cartel. But it wasn't until the United States stepped up its efforts to combat drug trafficking and extradite Escobar to face charges that his downfall was finally accelerated. In December 1993, after years on the run, Escobar was finally located and trapped by Colombian authorities. But instead of surrendering, he chose to take his own life in a rooftop shootout in Medellin. His death marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in the fight against organized crime. Escobar's impact on Colombia goes beyond just his criminal activities. His story has been immortalized in books, movies, and TV shows, both in Colombia and around the world. Some portrayals glamorize his life and exploits, while others offer a more nuanced perspective, highlighting the human cost of his actions and the broader societal implications of his reign. Escobar's legacy serves as a warning about the dangers of unchecked power and the devastating consequences of greed and corruption. His life and death continue to capture the public imagination, symbolizing the complex intersection of crime, politics, and culture in Colombia's tumultuous history. While Pablo Escobar's extravagant displays of wealth were unparalleled in their scale and infamy, there are contemporary examples of ostentatious affluence that draw parallels to his opulent lifestyle. In today's world of social media and celebrity culture, the flaunting of wealth has become increasingly commonplace among the ultra-rich. The portrayal of criminals like Pablo Escobar in movies, TV shows, and books has sparked debate. Some say it helps us understand crime and society better, but others think it makes crime seem cool and ignores the harm it causes. Critics say these portrayals make criminals like Escobar look heroic and ignore the repercussions they've incurred for society. They worry that focusing on the exciting parts of their lives makes crime seem glamorous and hides the real suffering. However, some people believe these portrayals make us think about why people do bad things and the bigger issues that influence them. This debate reminds us to tell stories responsibly, considering their impact on society and how they represent difficult topics. Summing it all up, Pablo Escobar's life was a story of rising from poverty to become one of the richest and most infamous criminals ever. Leading the Medellin cartel, he flaunted his wealth with extravagant displays and used ruthless tactics, causing immense harm to Colombian society. Despite his lavish lifestyle, his greed and thirst for power resulted in countless deaths and widespread corruption. His downfall warns of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the moral complexities of wealth and power. Reflecting on his life prompts us to examine our own views on money, influence, and morality. Escobar's story is a reminder of how individuals can shape the world, urging us to approach such issues with humility, empathy, and a commitment to justice.